In 2018, McDonald's generated over $21 billion of revenue within the United States only. So there is no denying the fact that it is one of the largest restaurant chains in the world. So where did it all start and how did it get to be the giant conglomerate that it is today? That is what we're looking at in this video. The story starts with two brothers, Richard and Maurice McDonald. They burst onto the restaurant business in the 1940s when they opened a barbecue joint in San Bernardino. Now, at the time, drive-ins with roller skating waitresses were all the rage, and the McDonald's barbecue restaurant was no different. While the restaurant was turning a profit, the brothers knew that they could do better. They identified the biggest issue with the current form of delivery system: efficiency. You had to wait half an hour before you would be served the food that you ordered, and the brothers knew that cutting that time was going to be key to selling more burgers. So they quickly simplified their menu to only include a few items and redesigned the cooking process, which started to look a lot more like an assembly line. This allowed the brothers to fill customer orders in as little as 30 seconds. They abandoned the drive-in concept in favor of walk-up counters and stopped using cutlery and dishes, entirely replacing them with disposable packaging. In an instant, the restaurant became a sensation, drawing in thousands of people from across the country. They started to franchise their locations, and by the mid-50s, the McDonald's brothers had opened up over 20 franchise locations. But none of them were doing as well as the original restaurant. So this is where we meet Ray Kroc. He was a natural hustler who at the age of 15 had lied his way into serving as a Red Cross ambulance driver during World War I. Interestingly enough, he served alongside Walt Disney in France, but they didn't really keep in touch after the war. Like most people from the post-war years, Ray had worked dozens of jobs: jazz pianist, radio DJ, paper cup salesman, you name it. In the early 1950s, he was traveling cross-country trying to sell expensive milkshake machines, but he wasn't particularly successful. One day in 1954, however, he got an order for 8 of them, and you guessed it, it was from the McDonald brothers. When Ray made his way to San Bernardino, he fell in love with their restaurant and immediately offered to franchise it. The brothers were really struggling at this point due to the lack of strong internal controls over quality and efficiency, compounded by the fast expansion really put the brothers out of their depth. So the brothers decided to give Ray a shot, and boy did he deliver. He picked out only the best franchisees and ran his operations like an army drill. Within a span of 6 years, Ray had built 100 McDonald's restaurants, while the McDonald's brothers were basically just managing their own joint. He eventually grew tired of the McDonald brothers, as they would reap 0.5% of all sales for doing nothing, while roadblocking Ray's suggestions for improving the franchise. While he respected the brothers for identifying process efficiencies within the restaurant business, the business was at a level at this point in time where the brothers contributed almost nothing and had become a roadblock to the multi-million-dollar empire that he was envisioning. Ray had to cut them out, and Ray, alongside his lawyers, devised a brilliant way to do so. He would buy the land upon which all future restaurants were built, and then he would lease them back to his franchisees. This way, Ray got to keep almost all the profits from the business while leaving the McDonald brothers empty-handed. Of course, the brothers weren't happy about it, but there wasn't really anything that they could do. And in 1961, they finally caved and agreed to sell the franchise for $2.7 million. With the brothers out of the way, Ray was able to ramp up quickly, implementing all the changes he ever wanted. In 1963, the iconic McDonald's mascot was introduced. In 1965, McDonald's got fish fillet. In 1968, the legendary Big Mac was introduced. God bless. 1988, the logo was redesigned, implementing the iconic golden arches associated with the McDonald's all over the world. Today, you can find a McDonald's in any of these 101 countries. For reference, there are only 195 countries in the world. In 2017, the company reported $22.8 billion of revenue. But looking at the comparatives, you will notice that revenue has been declining over the last few years. This is a result of consumers increasingly migrating away from junk food but towards more healthy and nutritious alternatives. But wait a second, earnings per share or EPS is going up, and so are the dividends, meaning that the shareholders are making more money than ever. How is that possible? You have to look just a little bit further to realize that McDonald's is focusing on cutting costs and reducing capital expenditures to maintain profits and continue to be a dominant player in the fast food industry. McDonald's may be a 6-year-old company, but they're on the cutting edge, reshaping their interactions with customers, elevating the customer experience in the restaurants through technology and the restaurant teams to bring it to life. McDonald's is going to be relevant for a long time, and I, for one, am not complaining about that. Thanks for watching, guys. If you liked the video, consider subscribing and hitting the bell icon. If you have any video suggestions, feel free to drop it down in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.